Lights, camera, action. Okay. You're watching Food is Medicine TV, where we help you heal from the root cause. And sometimes healing from the root cause actually has nothing to do with the food that we eat or the supplements that we take. It has so much more to do with our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. That's what we're talking about today. I have my dear friend, Teipel, here with me.
Thank you, Christa, for having me.
Thank you for being here. And we are talking today about how to create a grounding ritual that I do every day, and my day does not go the same if I don't do it, as a way to ground yourself, clear yourself, protect yourself, ready yourself for the day, but also to almost create, whether it's a staircase or an elevator, to come up above your problems. Because we all have to deal with life, whether it be excess stress, responsibility, trauma, chaos, whatever it might be, overwhelm. If we can take 3 minutes a day to kind of climb above that energy, we get a totally different perspective on it. And so Tara created a way out of all of her experience. She is a very successful local salon and spa owner, but she's also been on a spiritual path for over 25 years, and we talk a lot about that when we get together. And she's created a way in 3 minutes a day to help you rise above any kind of strife or energy of stress, so that you can be grounded and present and go through your day as your higher self. Tara, can you tell us a little bit about your process and what you've created?
Thank you. I just found, after many travels and deeper spiritual inquiry and a busy life, how can I bring that back into my everyday life so I can show up as the best version of myself? And being a busy person, I don't have 20 minutes a day to meditate. I have about 2 or 3 minutes to start my day.
Yeah, and especially as a mom and
getting things going.
Owner.
It's just a lot. And so I needed to be something practical, something effective, and something that would really make a punch and center me for my day.
Right.
So that's why I created my spiritual ritual. Very simple, easy way for people to connect on a daily basis. And when we do that, we just get to show up way more present in our life, more effective in everything that we do, because we're connected, we're grounded, we're centered in our heart and in our body, and connected with Source. So.
And I always like how you bring it back to self-love as first base to any other kind of love. And you talk about, there's 4 kinds of love, and the first is self-love. So can you go through those 4 kinds of love that if we develop them, we really do get to live in love and light?
Absolutely. Like, first base is love with ourselves, right? Because I know from my experience, the journey of self-love is the most important, so I can show up loving others. So first one is love with self. Second is love with another, for the divine or for nature. And I know that
your partner or your family, whatever, it's got to be
anything outside of ourself. It's that relationship. So when we show up with love for self first, we really can show up love for another. Like basics, like really basic thing that most of us don't get, because we're always somehow expecting the other to fill us up, make us happy, love us.
Right, we think it happens in reverse. If we're loved by another, then we can love ourselves, but it's always an inside job, isn't it?
It is, and sometimes it can be a hard journey to figure it out, but that's why I started with love as the basis of everything, is starting with love. And so the third one is then love for our community. Right? And so when we can have that loving relationship with self, with another, we get to spread it out a little bit. So there's love with our community. And then from there, the fourth major thing is then we can be of service in a larger way. So love with, the universe, with
all of humanity. It makes me think of Martin Luther King. It makes me think of Mother Teresa. Like, they really had it down, love for humanity.
It's really, really important. I think we're at a crucial time where, when we get our inside wiring love all dialed in, we can show up in the most magnificent way in all areas of our life.
And so 3 minutes or less. This is your spiritual ritual kit that you've created that helps you kind of ground. So explain what we're looking at here.
So the nuts and bolts of this is really, truly simple. So we start with creating sacred space I chose a selenite tea light candle
Yes.
because it creates liquid light. It's a mineral, and it's very, very potent in doing so. And second, we have our Palo Santo stick, and we're simply, we ignite it, we light it, and then this smoke really sets the stage and creates sacred space around us.
Right.
And it also actually is an invitation for the divine.
It's just by creating rituals. So Palo Santo is a wood that comes from Ecuador that's been used really for millennia in ancient practices that are meant to open us up, kind of wipe the slate clean, right? Clear the thoughts, clear the emotions, and ground.
They've had it right, these ancient wisdom
keepers.
keepers.
I know.
And I found that with my travels, they would use these certain elements in their daily practice. And I would observe, and I need to bring that home.
Yeah.
So that was from one of my travels to Peru. So the next thing is I created an anointing oil. And this is probably the most important part of this kit to me because it creates a new neurobiological response to love. So the power of aroma, and then there's plant extracts and flower essences and gem elixirs. So it's really about rewiring us and recalibrating us to a higher vibration of love. Starting
There's
with self.
so many studies on what scent can do to change your experience, whether it's bring you back to a memory or, as you said, create almost a new neural pathway of memory.
Absolutely. So every time we smell it, we start our day with just simply anointing. And I love using
Thank you.
a positive statement with it. So when I smell it, I am love. So I'm programming my brain and my cells to vibrate with love. So, throughout the day when I use it.
Well, you could use one of these invocations too, as you're saying. Can I just flip to one?
Yes.
Okay. Dear Creator, thank you for your loving support by fueling me with the freedom to practice authentic communication in all of my relations today. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So the invocations are powerful because when we don't have to do this alone.
Right.
When we call upon and we invite our higher power, the divine in our lives, it just really makes a difference because
well, we're never alone, and that isolation is what can create depression. And so for you, if it's not God, if it's not source, it can be nature, it can be just really connecting with yourself so that you can think straight and you can have a minute to reflect on who do you really want to be, where do you really want to go.
You got it.
And the rose quartz, is that to remind us to ground?
Our rose quartz is a reminder and nice talisman of, something to hold. I like that when I'm reading my invocation. And I love taking it throughout the day, so I'll stick it in my purse along with my oil and have that be an anchor piece. And the rose quartz is all about unconditional love.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the next part, right? So we have our Because of Love cards, and these were really designed to, how do we take this practice into the world? So I always invite people to, in your purse, you take your little anointing oil throughout the day, your rose quartz heart, and a card. And this card is all really about giving unconditionally without expectation.
Yeah.
As an act of self-love.
Right. Which is true giving, is to give anything without expecting something in return.
It's huge, and it's amazing how it makes you feel when you give, and then the person that you give it to is just like this random act of what just happened? And it's truly...
And it can change the course of their day, just like some simple kindness. If you don't have the cards of holding the door open for a stranger, giving them a smile, something like that can really lift them up, and that's a way to spread kindness, unconditional kindness throughout the world, right? Random acts of kindness.
Yes.
They make a difference. And if there's really anything I've learned throughout so many of my own life experiences, it's that it's an inside job. We really, our outer experience of life is a direct reflection to what is going on inside. And we talk about this we're highly clinical in our programs, but we have to talk about this element as well, or we wouldn't be the whole journey, right? You really have to take all parts of a person into account. And it brings me back to why I chose to get into this field. Years ago in my early 20s, backpacking around the world, I found this book by an Indian philosopher, J. Krishnamurti, and the book was called On God. And I was headed to go become a diplomat. That's what I wanted to do, international peace and conflict resolution. And the quote said, as long as the individual doesn't understand the total process of himself, there will never be peace in the world. It was that quote that literally I said, forget this, I'm not going to go try to be a diplomat. I am going to try to help people with their health as first base so that they can create peace. And, you know, I think it was the best decision I ever made from starting.
I would agree.
The inside out.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and so now if we want to find the love kit, the My Spiritual Ritual, you can find it at thewholejourney.com/ritual. And Tara, I commend you for creating this, and I'm going to ask if you'd like to leave our tribe with any final words of wisdom or final words of advice so that they can really connect on a daily basis.
I think it's important. It's like, I look at it, you know, if we have a vehicle or our car, if it's on empty and we can't get from point A to B. So it's really about checking in, what is my fuel reserve?
Perfect.
And then when we can do that and we can fill our tank, and this is one way, it's as important as brushing your teeth in the morning.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Start your day out right and the rest goes really well.
Yeah.
So
thanks for doing what you do in the world.
Thanks,
and
Christa.
For being here.
Thank you for doing what you do.
It's my pleasure. And thank you all for being here and watching Food is Medicine TV. We'll catch you next time.